Hey, what's up, guys? Do you know you can pass the CBR Theory Exam in the Netherlands with only one attempt, zero errors? If you want to know how you can do this, please don't skip the video, relax. I'm gonna give you all the tips. For those who are coming across our YouTube channel for the first time, my name is Rosie, and I'm gonna show you how to pass the CBR Theory Exam in the Netherlands with only one attempt. CBR stands for Central Bureau Rijvaardigheid. I don't know whether I pronounce it correct. I am not native Dutch speaker. I am just trying my best. I'm trying to survive learning the language. I'm still at A2. All right, and in English it means Central Office of Driving Certification. When you start your journey to go and sit for the CBR car theory exam in the Netherlands, you need to start by knowing the road signs and the simple basics. Like you need to understand a little bit about the car and how it operates, and because the practical side will really guide you when you want to do uh, the theory exam, because most of the things are better if you have already seen them before, so that you can have them at the back of your head. You will also want to know what language you are most comfortable with if you want to take the car theory exam. Is it Dutch? Is it English? So, because it's offered in either English or Dutch, if you want to do it in any other language, you need a translator and you need to pay more for the translator. You need to also study the materials beforehand before you sit for the exam, because it's not an easy test. I won't lie to you, it's not an easy test. And you need to do extra revision, you need to do thorough revision, you need to study very smart, because some of the questions are just repetitive, and it needs you to be to master the knowledge so that you can be able to really answer the questions, because you cannot just walk in the exam room and expect a miracle to happen and you pass the exam, especially if you haven't had a chance to drive a car, if you haven't had a chance um, to try to master how the car works. So, yeah, you just need to study. So, as we all know, the CBR car theory exam consists of three parts. We have the hazard perception, we have the knowledge, and we have the insight. With the hazard perception, you are given 25 questions where you are only allowed to fail 12 questions. And with the hazard perception, you're given scenarios, situations where you have to foresee and think of what to do at that moment, how you're thinking, and how you react to certain situations. So, in these cases, you're supposed to slow down or either stop or either do nothing. So, when it's very clear, you have to do nothing. And if you're maintaining the recommended speed, you don't have to do anything. And if you're, for example, you're supposed to decelerate, you're supposed to get out of the highway and you're driving the same speed, you're not supposed to pull down to slow down, unless if you're in the deceleration lane. And yeah, so if there's poor visibility, you have to slow down. If you cannot see at all about the situation that awaits you ahead, then you are supposed to stop, because you don't know what's going to happen. So you have to stop and check. um and also, if you see people crossing the people at the zebra crossing, you have to stop and wait for them to cross. And also, sometimes you're given situations where you have cyclists on the side, and yeah, you have cyclists, and maybe the cyclist wants to take a turn and they haven't seen you coming. So, what do you do as a driver? So, these are the kind of things that are supposed to lead you while answering these questions. So, it's better if you're aware or you're familiar of how the car works, so that you can really get all these questions correct, even though you are just allowed to fail 12 questions. And I think that's fair. So the second section, we have the knowledge, where it consists of 12 questions and you're allowed to fail only 2 questions. So you're supposed to get 10 out of 12, correct? And with the knowledge part, you need to understand how the car works, and you also need to understand what your required what is required from you as a driver. And also you need to understand at what time, at what point you're supposed to service the car, when you see some signs on the dashboard, what you're supposed to do when it's orange, when it's red, what are you supposed to do in these situations. Otherwise, you might be driving your car and your car is breaking down, and yeah, you end up in so many problems. And you also need to learn about your driving license and how often you're supposed to renew it, um, and what you need to do as a fast time driver. Pardon me. Yeah, as a fast time driver. And you also need to understand about drug consumption, and yeah, all these things. And you need to also know how the rule works in the no the law works in the Netherlands, because this is very important, especially if you're coming from for example, in Kenya, and especially Kayole, and you've seen how rowdy drivers are to the point of even trying to get you off the road. Yeah, yeah. So many rules are not adhered to. So when you come to these other parts, you need to learn all about these. Last but not least, we have the insight part. And with the insight, you're given 28 questions and you're supposed to only fail 3. So out of 28, you're supposed to get 25. And with the insight, I think it's the knowledge and the hazard perception combined, because you're given scenarios where you're the driver and you're supposed to guess who goes fast on the road, whether it's going to be the cyclist, whether it's going to be the pedestrian when you're taking turns, and what you're supposed to do when you enter a roundabout. And if you're inside the roundabout, what are some of the rules you're supposed to follow. And also you need to understand that you have to really study for this, because it's not easy, and it's up to you to realize how much it's gonna cost your time, how much it's gonna cost your energy, and just put all of you in it. If you study the materials that are online, I can recommend some websites. Like I said, if you want me to recommend some nice websites that helped me to pass my car theory exam, you can put it in the comment section, so that I know that I'm communicating with people also. And with this exam, you're given 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, you need to have completed everything, and you're given a timer. So the hazard perception, the timer goes too fast. It's just like 30 is it 60 or 30? I'll confirm that and put it and also update this video. And yeah, so what else? What else? Before you go to the exam room, you need to book your exam, where you'll be sent your reservation number, which you will use to um, go and book your spot in the exam room. Because if you have the reservation number and you don't show up, it doesn't make any difference. So you have to be there present before you can sit for the exam. And also you can have private exams where you are seated by yourself, but you have to pay, I think, 100 euros for that. Well, I just did the normal English exam. It's car theory B in English. And also the you need to have a valid ID. So a valid ID is highly recommended for you to apply for the car CBR Theory Exam in the Netherlands, because if you don't have these, they are very strict. That you cannot uh, bribe them. You cannot do all these fishy things that people do elsewhere. So you really need to have your legal documents. And yeah, what else? So you're given 30 minutes for everything, and in 30 minutes, you need to have already answered all the questions, because after 30 minutes, you're just told, yeah, time out. You'll be given the results if you've not answered all the questions, or if you're not satisfied with all the questions. And also remember that with the hazard perception, you cannot go back to review your questions, but with the knowledge and the insight, you can always go back to review the questions, as long as the time has not been consumed. So if you still have time, you can go back and check your and double check your answers. And so what else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, the results will be given to you immediately. So you either get a thumbs up or a thumbs down in case you failed. And there's nothing as impressive as getting a thumbs up on your first attempt. So please listen to my advice, because I have been there and I never took it for granted. I also applied uh, uh, for classes, and I also did self study, and I used all the mock materials to help me study for the exam, and that's how you can pass easily. And yeah, what else? I hope I'm not forgetting anything, but if I forget, I'll just make another video. Oh yeah, we have three colors once you're done with your exam. So we have green, which means you have zero errors. We have orange, which means you have one error, and we have red, which means you have more than two errors. So after you've gotten your results, immediately, yeah, immediately after 24 hours, they're going to send you the results sheet through your email. So make sure that you have the correct email address, because they're going to send you the results within 24 hours. And that's when you'll know whether you have to wait for one, no, whether you have to get uh, your your car practical exam within 1.6 months, because they give you 1.5 years. And if you unfortunately don't get your driving license within the given period, you are supposed to go all over the process and again. And yeah, it's hectic. So you'd rather just get it on your first attempt. And also, what helps me is I have a notebook. With this notebook, I used to write all the questions that I failed during the mock exam, and I also took notes, and I made sure that I haven't missed any lesson. And also, because when you register uh, on the online course, you are given a chance to do a repetition of the questions together with the docent, with the guide, with the teacher. Is it a teacher? Okay, yeah, but you're given a chance to go through the questions together, and you can ask your questions when you don't understand. They are willing to help you, and they also give us more books, more detailed books. Um, yeah, that helped. So I wish you all the best. It's not easy, but I know if I did it, you are also going to do it. And I hope we can get more responsible drivers in future so that we can avoid the carelessness on the road, which leads to losing people, because you're also supposed to be aware of other drivers and trying to correct their errors and not their errors, and don't just stick to what you know. You need to be aware of the surrounding. So thank you so much for sticking along, and see you next time. Bye.